So welcome everyone. We have today a very serious topic. Please don't laugh because this topic is very, very serious and very important. Unfortunately, not everyone is putting a lot of importance into this topic. You will hear a lot of different topics that coaches or people who work with other people focus on. And we thought that Fool's Day, which was yesterday, 1st of April, is a great opportunity for us to get together and discuss a very serious topic of humor, sense of humor in working with people, sense of humor in coaching or other people helping modalities. And first of all, I would like to say thank you very much for joining us today and to create this community space where we can all share. I will encourage you to talk to us, to share, and maybe we can go around quickly and say hi to one another and tell us a little bit why this topic got your attention. Just quickly to tell us a little bit about that. Aksana.
Hello, everybody. I'm a creative mind and inspiration coach and part of the team of Katya Academy. And sense of humor is not very important. It's just the most important thing in my life because it helps in the most difficult situation. And I was working for 11 years in real estate in Ukraine, and it's not like sweet to walk. And humor always helped me to go through different situations, and I think it's helps to figure out many things. That is why I think Katya will tell her opinion too. That is why welcome to this serious class.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Charna.
Hi, everybody. My voice is coming and going. I am a current student at ILCAT in Class 8 at G8, and I believe that humor is really important in all conversations, and it can help lighten the load at times when things get a little too serious. And we all need to learn how to laugh at ourselves too. So that's what I'm here to learn more about. Thank you, and thanks for joining.
Thank you so much. And Charna, you have a great sense of humor. Lisa. And Lisa, by the way, too. Hello, Lisa. Good to see you.
My name's Lisa. I am also a current student in the 8th class of ILCAT. Excuse me. I just joined it because you were riding a broom.
You connected with my okay. Okay, thank you. Yeah, and you know also very well how sense of humor is such a huge part of our community and our classes every time. And don't tell anybody, it's a secret, but sometimes it works well and sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes it's like, oops, probably I shouldn't have. And it's okay too. So having courage and bravery about like expressing your sense of humor is also important. But we will talk a little bit about the differences and appropriate versus inappropriate. And the most important thing is intention, right? Is if your intention is to have a laugh and lift up people and do something positive is one thing, but so don't be scared of sometimes failures or oopses or when your stand-up comedy open mic moment doesn't get too many laughs and claps. So it's still very important. Thank you, Lisa. So my broom this time worked. Okay, good. Max.
I'm Max. I'm a teacher in Ilkate, and yeah, I know that sense of humor is very important because I have a great sense of humor.
That's funny. Okay. Okay. And your dog Jim agrees with that. That's the most important
The
thing.
person I know who has the best sense of humor is actually this person. Right
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
Okay.
Got a good sense of humor.
Thank you. Justina.
Okay, well, my name is Justina, and unfortunately, I recently lost autonomous decisions during a very rough court session. And I do need humor relief to emancipate myself out of a very trapped situation. So I am studying to become an education assistant through AOLCC at the Genesis Center. And I have more than one different diploma and certification academic-wise. However, I do struggle to present ideas and workshops. I am scheduled to do an art workshop in the local community arts theater in June. And it's actually a paid gig, which is good news. So following the subsequent loss of autonomy regarding my disability, I'm still able to maintain just myself and a little piece of career, which is single, individual, and indivisible by God.
Thank you so
Yay,
much.
Yankees.
Thank you so much for sharing. I hope you will realize that you're in the right community. Thank you for joining us today. So we hope to keep it lighthearted, and support one another with a smile. Thank you so much. Jamila, did I say it right?
Yes, ma'am, you did. So this is my second time joining one of your workshops. I was at the previous one about being an architect of your life. And wow, that's, I gotta say, I know this is going off topic a little bit, but I have to say that just monitoring my own thoughts has made such a huge difference already in how I approach things and how much misery I have taken out of my my bag of life just by adjusting my mindset. So thank you very much for that. Humor is paramount because if you can't laugh at something, usually you end up crying, and that's not good. That's not good. I mean, I've intuitively have helped so many people just because that's the way I'm wired, and we get into serious topics, but what breaks the ice and what helps open people up to truth is being able to make a joke with it, or just making a joke, period. It helps disarm people. It helps people open up to new energies and new ideas and new concepts. And it also helps build common ground. I can't, it can't be overstated how much important it is to have that openness to lightheartedness and joy from laughing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining us again. Pleasure seeing you again. Thank you. Lesie, hello.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to piggyback on what Jamila just said, that I feel sense of humor helps find common ground. But also, I've been told by close people, they're like, we know you behind closed doors. Like when I'm not presenting, and like you have a fun personality, but sometimes I don't always let it out in like more professional settings. And the few times that I do, like I've noticed that builds connections. So I just want to know how to use humor effectively. And like what you said, to uplift and to use it positively and uplift people. So, and to show more of my personality, that it's okay to show it. So happy to be here.
Thank you so much. Happy to have you. Amony? Hello?
Hello. Hi, how are you doing? This is my second session, like a class I attend with you. The previous one was the tarot reading. It was really interesting, and I enjoyed it really that much. We're talking about the sense of humor. Actually, this is something I use to beat up the life hiccup personally, to make like a laugh about the challenges I face. So it's soothing me and makes also people feel that it's not a big, like something bad, but it's gonna pass anyway. So yeah, I personally like to use sense of humor. I make a joke about anything in my life to make it like, to make it like the effect, make it soother and better. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And great to see you again.
Thank you.
Hello, Kamal?
Good evening, everyone. Katya, thanks for the session. This is my first session with you. I'm a life coach, and when I saw the title of this session, I was very intrigued with the topic, because you often, very rarely, as Lesie pointed out, that you use humor with clients, right? So I was like, I did use humor a couple of times with my clients, but the point where you have to take left turn, the client took right turn, and vice versa. So I'm here to learn about the cues to find with clients so that you can use humor as one of the strategies.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome. Kimberly, hello.
Hello. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you.
I'm Kimberly Petchin, and I am a seasoned corporate coach. And I'm branching into the life coaching area, which is how I found you. And I've used comedy and humor through my entire career because it's just part of my personality and it naturally flows that way. But also, my life is a sitcom, and almost every day there is something, some kind of drama. And if I didn't laugh at it, I think someone said it earlier, I would have to cry. And I've done a lot of crying in my time, and I've even hysterically laughed with tears, because this shit is unreal that happens to me sometimes. It's unreal. So I use that also, all of the things that I have gone through, as a way to also be vulnerable with my clients. And I consider any individual team or executive that I've coached to be a client. If I can like self-deprecate or, make myself look funny or light of the things that I've been through, it really does bring their shoulders down and allow me that open door. So I'm looking forward to your take on, and just contributing where I can, and how I have to use humor, because otherwise, yep, you just lay down in bed and don't get up.
Absolutely. And you took a stand-up comedy classes, so you are professional.
Yes, I actually
professional here with us.
Yes, I did. I actually learned how to write the setup and the delivery of jokes and stand on stage and deliver the shows. So yeah, I did a 7-minute show and they laughed the whole time. So I must be on to something.
Do you have a video? Do you have recording of it?
I do have a video.
Yeah,
I did get
send
brave
it.
enough
Send
to
it to
finally watch it. I will. I did
want
get
to
brave
watch
enough to finally watch it, and I was like, wow, I am kind of good. So, but
That's very exciting. Jeffrey, hello. So, Jeffrey, if you can't talk, just say something like hi to us in the chat so we can all feel comfortable with each other, that we are all real people and are ready.
Unreal people, I would
Unreal. We are all unreal people. Absolutely. So we will talk about today, we will talk about different types of humor. Why do we want to use humor in working with people? What we want to use and not to use. But I would like to start by saying that to have sense of humor is actually the sign of high intellect, creativity, and guts. Especially if you are able to share that on stage, in the class, with people. When it's not just in your family, with people you're very comfortable with. So it takes guts, intellect or smarts, and creativity, big part of it. I will give you an example. We'll start with an example. I was on a coaching call today in the morning with the coaching group that I'm part of. And two of our coaches were demonstrating client call conversations, just to demonstrate. And there were 50 people on that call, very serious CEOs of big companies and serious successful people. And one of the coaches who participated in that role playing used her sense of humor. She started telling that, yeah, I'm very tired, I have kids, yeah, and she like this and that husband who is how she said in a funny way. I don't want to to say it right now, but in a funny way expressed her story, and everybody started laughing. It doesn't matter, the details doesn't matter right now. So everybody started laughing. And in that moment, we were in that moment, it like a bulb, like people were not tired, but not bored, but all of a sudden, people started laughing, smiling, put something in the comments, feeling connected with one another, learning better. So it all of a sudden, it completely changed the whole climate, temperature of that meeting. And it took her just a little bit of sense of humor, a little bit of guts to do that in front of 50 plus people. And the benefits, the results were amazing, just in those few minutes. I can tell you from my own experience, I use humor all the time in my personal life, in relationship with my friends and family, and of course with my family / community, Intuitive Life Coaching Academy. And I through my practice, and also in my one-on-one coaching, and through my practice, I got a feedback from some of people I knew who told me, Katya, be careful. You are too keen to use your sense of humor all the time. And there were moments when I questioned that, and I was like, okay, maybe I should cut back on that. Maybe I should do less of that. And in this working on myself for all these years, I came to a realization that humor is part of who I am. Is like my left hand, my right hand is like my heavy Russian accent in speaking English. This is who I am. This is as authentic as you can get. Without, if you take sense of humor from me, you take my soul away. You take me. You take, and sense of humor showed great results in my work as a life coach, showed great results in my work as a teacher and mentor coach. So I want to give a little bit of time to Max, and I will explain why. Max and I, we are teachers of the academy, and we have this, how we can say, like a banter, humorous banter. And I can tell you honestly, I will be very sincere and very open with you. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes our banter goes right direction and sometimes it goes wrong direction. But we still do that. And probably sometimes we even make people feel uncomfortable. And in these moments, it's important to step back and kind of analyze it, realize it, and maybe even apologize or say, but it doesn't stop us from doing it, because without it, the academy would be different, the classes would be different, the whole camaraderie and community and connection would be different. So Max has a great sense of humor as a coach, as a mentor, as a teacher, so as a human being. So I would like to ask you to give us a little bit of your spin on the humor in working with people.
Sure. While you were talking, I thought of somebody named Bassem Youssef. He's an Egyptian comedian, and he's hilarious. He is now in the United States, and if you want to see something very funny and poignant at the same time, look up his interview with Piers Morgan, because he's very outspoken about the Israel-Palestine conflict. And I think his first interview with Piers Morgan, it's like a 1 hour long interview. And he starts the interview off, and I won't try to duplicate it because I can't do it justice, but he basically is saying very politically incorrect things about Palestinians, and you can tell, I think, that it's sardonic, it's sarcasm that he's using. But Piers Morgan was not exactly sure if he was being serious or if he was joking, and you can see on Piers Morgan's face, like, he's kind of like stuck, and he's wondering, like, how do I respond to this? Am I supposed to laugh? Is this guy serious? What's happening? So I just thought of that as Katya was talking, because I thought that the humor that he was using was brilliant, but it also took a lot of courage to make those jokes because they were very edgy. So anyway, I recommend, if you're interested, to go, and you can find it on YouTube. Bassem Youssef, I think it's Bassem is the first name. Youssef, I don't remember exactly, Yousuf, something along those lines. But if you put in anything resembling that, it'll pull him up. And his interview with Piers Morgan, he's done more than one, so you might have to look at a couple of them, but it's the one that he's doing on his show with the normal kind of set. And if you watch the beginning, it's very interesting. And so I think that brings up a good point, which is that to use humor, one has to be courageous, right? And I mean, like, when we're using humor in our sessions with clients, we're not always pushing the envelope. It's not always an act of courage. But I think especially when you are in the beginning of a relationship with a client, you're not sure exactly what their humor is like. It is a somewhat courageous act to bring your humor to the situation and see how they react, right? And it's that way in any kind of new scenario, maybe where you don't know people and you don't know how they're going to react. So, and as Katya was alluding to, when you use your humor and it doesn't go well, it can be awkward. And you might have to apologize, and that's okay. And if it does go well, it actually does a lot to move the relationship forward. It's a huge way to kind of grease the wheels of the relationship and improve the rapport that you have with people. So I would say humor is very important. And ILCATE, the I in ILCATE is for intuitive, so we focus on intuition. I think that certainly for me, it's true that the more in touch I am with my intuition, I mean, first of all, I think the funnier I become, and the more in tune I am with my own authentic sense of humor, and the more in tune I am with other people and what kind of jokes I can make and what kind of jokes I can't make. That doesn't always work. And there are times when I say something that I, shouldn't have said or that I regret saying, and then I apologize. But that's also part of life. I guess the flip side of that is you could just always shut yourself up and never take a risk in saying anything. And that's a terrible way to live, in my opinion. So, so that, those are kind of my general thoughts about humor, and they apply to a coaching relationship as well. Everybody's got different sense of humor. Different people put different amounts of weight on a sense of humor. For me, probably earlier on in a coaching relationship, I'm not relying on it as much. Probably again because I want to take time to get to know the person and let them get to know me, and try not to offend them right off the bat. I'll try to wait a few sessions before offending them. But again, I try to be present to the situation and to kind of read their energy. And if I sense that they're open to humor, maybe I'll let it out a little sooner than I would otherwise. But I would say what's really important, and I think this is true in everything, and especially in humor, is authenticity, right? So to me, one of the most off-putting things is when someone is trying to be funny, right? Like you can tell, they're trying to be funny because they're using it as a tactic. Like they're thinking to themselves, oh, if I can insert a joke here, or if I can make this person laugh, then it will improve the relationship. But it's totally staged. It doesn't feel natural. It's not that funny. It's awkward to be in that scenario. So that to me is very off-putting. And I think kind of something that's inauthentic like that actually, for me anyway, works the opposite way. It hurts the relationship. It distances me from that person, right? For me, and the humor I use, whether you like it or you don't like it, I try to make it as authentic to myself as possible, right? And hopefully I don't insult anybody, and if I do, I apologize. But also, here's what I'll say. If you're using humor that's authentic to you and your client or whomever you're dealing with doesn't like it, maybe that's also a sign that you shouldn't be dealing with them, you know? Like, you know, I say things that I think are funny because I think they're funny, right? Like, if I'm always saying something that I think is funny to a person who like gets insulted by it, maybe that's like a message to me, like, hey, Max, go deal with somebody else, because, you know, I don't want to not be able to be myself, right? And if the things I think are funny are so different from what this other person thinks is funny, maybe we're just oil and water. Maybe we're not meant to mix. So it can be a good litmus test as well, as far as helping to figure out how good a match you are with a potential client. So those are some of my thoughts on humor, and I thought maybe if people have questions or comments, we can you know, turn it over to the audience and see what you guys think and what questions you might have. Go ahead.
Yeah, before we do that, there is a little bit of things I would like to add. Thank you. You brought a great point of your sense of humor is part of your authenticity. But also we have to, this is very much what we deal with and what we learn in the academy in our program, that we have to always kind of like meet people where they are, but at the same time know how to stretch them, right? We need to like use our sense of humor, but at the same time understand what is their background. So it's kind of like the dance, right? That's why intuition is such an important ingredient in that. Being intuitive and understanding or sometimes not understanding what you can and what you can do. A cultural aspect is a very important part of using humor, because it could be not because that person doesn't vibe with you, but maybe this person is just from a different culture and they may not fully, you know, like relate and understand to, and our humor is heavily rooted from where we came from. For example, we'll give you a good example with me and Aksana. We grew up in a very similar environment. We grew up in one country, which was called Soviet Union at that time. Aksana is from Ukraine, I'm from Russia. And even though you understand the situation between these two countries right now is horrendous, to say the least, Aksana and we share the same childhood. To the degree of it being like ridiculous, like the jokes, this kind of like, sometimes, I'm sorry, like childish, stupid jokes that like I open my mouth, I say one word, she continues, because this is what we had, and then we laugh. Like actually it's maybe not even funny. Like for you guys, I guarantee that it would not be funny, because it's probably not funny. It's funny for us because we give it a different meaning. Because for us, it was our childhood, it was the moments of happiness and laughter. And if we were to translate it to you, you would be like, what? You know, you would not even understand. So keeping in mind and be respectful of cultural differences is important. Oh, this person doesn't understand, it means that it's not my client. No, absolutely not. Like remembering that that our sense of humor is rooted from where we come from. So and being very respectful about that is important. What you can do if you want to bring humor from your culture, from your country, from where you grew up, you can even say that this is a joke in our country, and I will translate it to you, but I will also give you a meaning. Like usually what's funny is not the actual joke, but the meaning behind it, right? Like, so if you can translate it into the language you're using with your client, try to translate also the meaning behind it. And, you know, it may be funny, it may not, but respecting where people are, where they're coming from, how they grew up is also very, very important. Also, the difference between humor and sarcasm is a big one. So humor is usually focused on positive, in bringing up something positive, in changing the atmosphere to make it better, lighter, more positive, happier. Sarcasm can be negative. It can be hurtful, and also humor is very much focused in our work with working with people on laughing at ourselves. Very important thing. If you can't laugh at yourself, that's my, again, subjective opinion, and I will be happy to hear yours. If you can't laugh at yourself, you don't have the right to laugh at other people. If you can't be, you know, vulnerable, funny, authentic with yourself and about yourself with other people, this is very inappropriate to laugh or bring out something in a funny way about other people. So if you want to learn how to be funny, start with yourself. Start with yourself. Start seeing yourself, and that's where you need courage as well. To courage and a realistic view of who you are, because you can be surprised, but laughter, humor is very much connected with truth and reality. It's more connected with truth and reality than truth and reality. Because we're trying to bring this truth and reality in a way that we can learn from, that we can open up to, you know, thinking, reflection. So humor is a great way in coaching, because it can lighten a mood. And sometimes when you work with people, people can bring up very difficult topics, right? Very painful topics and moments. So it can lighten a mood or bring a sense of companionship and compassion. But also being careful, right? Like if a person is going through horrible grief, you can't laugh at their grief. You can laugh at, you know, like the circumstance of being human, right? But never laugh at their situation. Humor can be, again, it can be restrictive if you go more towards sarcasm, or when all you do is crack jokes. So this is not appropriate at all. So what's more appropriate is using humor for people to open their mind to other opportunities, other possibilities. Metaphoric humor is a great way, and I will hope I will have a little bit of time to give you some examples. It can also help provide a needed break or chance to wind down, or in some cases provide the client with a different avenue of approach to their train of thought. And the ability to use humor effectively typically stems from the ability to read people. See, we're coming back again to our intuition, to our ability to read people. That's what Max also touched upon, that you need to know who is in front of you. And if you're not sure, maybe you need to take some time before, like in one-on-one at least work, before you start fully opening yourself to humor, to see how, like, where this person came from, what they find offensive, what, you know, like this is very important. So, and that's where sarcasm can be offensive. Sarcasm can be hurtful. And people appreciate different type of humor. You can actually even ask your clients, say, I use humor a lot as a tool for me to survive, to live life, to just, like, without humor, like, what are your thoughts about it? Like, see how they, because I've heard several times people told me that they don't appreciate humor. And then my antennas are like, whoa, tell me more about it. And in one situation, it was true. That's what made me not work with that person moving forward. And in one situation, it's just like different cultural, and then person opened up and actually had amazing sense of humor. So kind of knowing who is in front of you, their background, respecting their cultural differences is important. Let me give you a little bit of, like, what sense of humor, what using humor gives us in working with people. As we said, it builds rapport and connection. Because when we can laugh, it connects it, right? Like, think about, when do we laugh? When we sit together at the table, right, and have a meal, share a meal together, or drink a glass of wine together, or when we are at a very at a concert and we are it's something that connects us, right? Like a topic, something where we can smile, give us each other a smile. That always a beautiful thing that breaks the ice, right? Creates the connection, builds the rapport, reduces tension and stress. Sometimes person will be so stressed, and you are able to bring that joke, and then all of a sudden you can see a smile on their face. It sometimes can work even better than a meditation or centering. Like when we smile, it immediately creates this endorphin situation when different hormones start to act in our body. It's like when we also heard about fake it until you make it, or something like that. Basically, when we smile, when we laugh, it creates, it really helps us with anxiety, panic attacks, reducing tension, increases engagement and motivation. When you know, when your client knows that It will be light-hearted, it will be supportive, it will be at times funny. They are more willing to listen, they are more willing to work, they are more willing to engage, they are more motivated to talk through even sometimes very difficult topics in a different way. So it promotes creativity, absolutely, and perspective change. It allows people to see their challenges from a different perspective and an approach. It kind of closes the doors of like, it's impossible, that's it, the life is over, nothing. And if you bring this a little bit of humor, it can actually change everything. As I said, enhances learning and retention, because if the time will fly, the work will be more juicy and motivated when you work with a person who can laugh and laugh at themselves as well. Strengthens resilience and coping skills, absolutely. Creates a positive atmosphere. So these are all only few things that are important for us to remember. Let me give you an example of the difference between between sarcasm and humor. I will give you an example. Humor, as I mentioned before, is lighthearted and positive, aimed at creating a sense of joy, connection, relaxation in coaching or working with people. And humor can be used to break tension, build rapport, and facilitate learning and growth. We'll give you an example. Client: I feel like I'm juggling too many responsibilities at once. Coach: sounds like you're running your own circus. Let's see if we can help you tame those lions and tightrope walk through your tasks, right? So it's nothing offensive. It's very imaginary, right? It gives you kind of like a different perspective, also invites people to reflect and get back to you in a more positive way. Sarcasm, on the other hand, involves using irony or mockery to convey contempt or ridicule. It can create distance, hurt feelings, and erode trust in coaching relationships. So example: I didn't get the promotion I was hoping for. Coach sarcastically: oops. Well, what a real shocker. Who would have thought your lack of effort would lead to that outcome? Oops, ouchie. Right? So very judgmental, very inappropriate. And you would be surprised, but I've heard it. I've heard it. People who try to be funny, or who are learning to be funny and funny on demand, it doesn't work. So it can lead to actually like clients leaving you, right? And they probably would be right here. So
Can I say something, Katya?
Absolutely.
So in that type of situation, like let's say you're a coach and you've got a client and they say something like that to you, right? Like they didn't get a promotion, but you actually think that they didn't earn it and they haven't worked hard for it, right? And maybe you've had that conversation with a client, right? Then it would probably be appropriate for you to make a serious, not a sarcastic statement, but a serious statement saying something like, well, do you think you actually earned it? Or, or say in an appropriate coaching way, well, based on the conversations we've had, you may not have deserved it. Like that may actually be a time for some true honesty, right, in an appropriate way, right, as opposed to humor or sarcasm.
Absolutely.
Right?
And
So-
you just asked a closed-ended question. How can you change that question to be open-ended?
What do you mean?
You said, do you do you think that you earned that? How can you change that question to sound like a question from a coach? You say you just ask a close-ended question.
Well, I guess the scenario I'm talking about is if you as a coach think that
No, I
the
understand.
client didn't deserve the promotion, in which case I might actually say something more like, do you mind if I share my opinion with you? And if the client said yes, then I might say, you know what, based on your effort, and I've said this to you before in the conversations we've had, I don't know if you deserve that promotion. Like I would, have an honest conversation. I mean, again, it depends on the context of the relationship and the history of the conversations that you've had, right? So I don't think you can come out of the blue with it, but if you've kind of like had honest conversations with your client before about their effort and how sincerely they're going for something, and they still are disappointed when they don't get it, there might be an appropriate time for honesty. But again, it wouldn't be humorous or sarcastic, right?
Yeah, and it would be presented in a different way. It would be presented in a way of not let me share with you my opinion. It would be like, okay, that's what happened. What comes up for you first? And then if the person, you will see that they're in denial and they will put a blame on everybody else, right? Oh, it's because John didn't, and then you just bring that awareness to the surface, but you actually never say, may I share with you my opinion? You didn't earn it. So for a coach, that would be absolute no. But I hear you. And yes, this is the time for serious conversations, and this is not the time for humor. And this is a time of bringing that awareness of the situation to the person, but in a more professional and more open-ended way. That's a good point. So let me share with you just few types of different humor that appropriate for coaching. Observational humor. And I will give you the example. Observational humor involves making lighthearted observation about everyday situations or behaviors. As an example, ever notice how our to-do lists seem to multiply like rabbits? I think mine has a secret breeding ground. So, or self-deprecating humor. Self-deprecating humor involves poking fun at oneself in a playful and non-offensive way. I'm about as organized. I use it all the time. I'm about as organized as a tornado in a paper factory. Thank goodness for digital calendars, or I'd be lost. Also, self-deprecating humor helps in relationship with people, helps to break the ice and also feel closer to your coach in a way, right? That they're also human. They don't know everything. They also have their, like they are not great at everything, right? So it's a little bit different from therapy when when therapy stays a mystery, right, to us, who this person is, it's a very different relationship. With coaching, it's a partnership. So we would like to know a little bit about our coach, right? We would like to feel connected, or to feel more like that, close to them. Another, wit and wordplay. Wit involves clever and humorous wordplay, often involving puns or clever twists of language. Example: I'm not saying I'm Batman, but have you ever seen me and Batman in the same room? Just kidding. I don't look nearly as good in a cape. You know, and again, it's a good sense of humor way. It's focused on you, right? So first, if you're opening yourself up to humor in your work, start with yourself. Big if I may give you an advice. Sometimes you can use some surreal humor. Involves creating comedic situations that are widely imaginative or bizarre. If it's your style, if it's what you are. So imagine if we could solve all our problems by dancing like penguins in the rain. I mean, stranger things have happened, right? You know, like, it also kind of like, what? It creates this moment of what's going on, unexpected, which provokes thinking, provokes reflection. It's a great way of awakening your client up, in a way, saying like, what you just said. Lighthearted anecdotes. You can use sporadically. Playful metaphors and analogies. I will give you an example. Trying to solve a problem without a plan is like trying to navigate a maze blindfolded. Sure, it's entertaining for onlookers. That was my mom. By the way, my mom has a great sense of humor. Sure, it's entertaining for onlookers, but not so great for getting to the finish line. Okay, so metaphors are great way that best coaches use. Clever observations. If you are a business coach, industry coach, bring something from that industry or niche, will be great. I will give you an example. You know, you've been in the corporate world too long when casual Friday means wearing socks with your sandals instead of dress shoes. You know, if you are a niche coach, if there is a specific niche you are coaching, it's great to know some metaphors and kind of like that industry or that niche jokes. I want to hear now, guys, from you. What do you think? How do you use humor? What blocks do you have, or what fears or difficulties or concerns do you have in terms of using humor or being open to using humor in your work with other people? So I would like to it's open mic time. So who would like to share with us your experience in using humor with people? Lisa, thank you.
So, I use humor a lot. I'm a nurse in a hospital in a med-surg unit, and using humor with my patients, now I'm very intuitive and I use a lot of discretion, but I do joke with them, and you can physically see them light up when you start when you start poking at each other, and it's just really fun. You know, the other thing that happens is that when we have humor and when we laugh, that does something physiologically in our body. It raises our endorphins and it makes us feel better, and our energy just goes up. So I use a lot of humor at work with my patients. We also as staff, if something happens and it's a tragedy, people will look at medical people like, boy, you have some really dark humor. And we do have dark humor, but it's a way for us to be able to cope with the loss, or the tragedy that whatever happened on the unit. So I'm pretty good, I think, at doing light and dark humor. So, but I use it all the time. Yeah.
Absolutely. Lisa, I probably was a medical practitioner in my past life because my humor is dark humor. Yeah, I hear you, but thank you. Charna.
I also use a lot of dark humor, as you probably are aware. I say things like, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how'd you like the play? And some people get it and some people don't. But, you know, I try to make light of things at times, depending on the situation and circumstance. And I think that humor is also used to help you get through a lot of those dark times. And as well as making you look vulnerable, and people feel more connected to you because of that. You are more authentic. People see the authentic person and don't see somebody pretending to be something. They see the individual as they are. And having worked in a business prior to this that I had to deliver bad news all the time, you had to find a way for humor to work its way in so that you could figure out how to move on to the next step.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Kimberly, do you want to, as our expert, do you want to contribute to our conversation?
Sure. Yeah, I have used humor, and one of the things I have to avoid sometimes is the dark humor, because I've been in the corporate business world for so long. And then I have to be real sensitive because we have so many cultures all working together. But it always comes naturally for me. And what I found myself doing lately as I've gone back into my entrepreneur life is I literally keep a notebook with me all the time, and I log things. If I say things that actually make a stranger laugh, or because it's always so organic and I don't even know, people are like, you're so funny, you're so this. I'm like, am I? I'm just being me. So lately and after I took the class, I have actually been structuring it so that I have a new arsenal, basically. So I can, on a dime, if there's some things I know will work for certain people and some things that don't land well, I have actually been intentionally tracking. I don't have to use the filter as much as I had to use in corporate, so it can get dangerous for me, right? So I'm out on the business on myself, and I think I can just kind of go willy-nilly, unfiltered all the time, and I really can't. So I am, for humor for my present and future entrepreneur life is definitely logging when I actually do get a chuckle. And like when my sensors went crazy yesterday, and every single sensor was going off at the same time, the noise and everything. And I don't know, I was popping off jokes left and right. And as soon as the AAA man left, I was like, he was laughing so hard. And he was like, I feel like I need to come back here and see you again. He said, this is the most fun job that I've been on in a long time. So right away, I grabbed my notebook and I started writing down everything that I was saying about that particular event, which should have been a traumatic, drama-filled situation. My car was going batshit crazy out here. So in a quiet campground, mind you. So yeah, I definitely am using it on a very regular basis. People and things are just so heavy right now. I can't help but want to be a light.
Mm-hmm. do you mind sharing one of those jokes? Because we already understood the situation, the context.
Now you put me on the spot. My temperature
Yeah.
just went up like 10 degrees.
You wrote it down.
No, I can't do it yet.
No.
Give me a few minutes and I'll
Okay,
finesse it,
okay,
and
we
I'll-
will come back. Thank you. Yeah. This is the danger, guys. This is the danger of being on the calls with us. If like you're in great danger if you join our meetups, because there are moments when we ask you to talk, or when we ask you to do something that like, oh my God, I'm just on a meetup. Like, what do you want from me? So I'm just letting you know that, that might happen. So this is a great point. So see how it connected the person, people. It made the situation that was probably very unpleasant easier to overcome and survive, and much more. And I love Kimberly's idea about keeping a log. If you are log keeper, right? If you are journaler, then it's a great idea. Very similar to what I asked the students when we work on intuitive development, to keep your symbol, like a dictionary vocabulary, for you to understand the symbols of your intuition, right? Very similar, you can create a log of jokes. But in this situation, I have to be serious with you guys. Here, you have to actually probably memorize them, because this is the worst thing that you could do. What I did 5 minutes ago was to read a joke. This is probably not going to work, especially when you're in the middle of your coaching conversation or teaching a class. My big advice, suggestion, recommendation, if you keep that log, remember, learn it by heart, because there is nothing wrong in it, because all this amazing motivational speakers, coaches who teach and who do this gather huge audiences, they remember, they learn it by heart, they practice. They practice.
Yes, let me tell you, I read, because when I wrote it, when I said it to him, I was being, because it was a guy. I'm sitting here and I was kind of being flirty a little. So my first version of it, I wasn't prepared to share. But yeah, basically I was, first I asked him, I'm like, is my car having a stroke? Because everything was going crazy. And he starts laughing. He goes, no, we'll just jump your battery. We'll disconnect the cables. And I said, yeah, somebody said I could have disconnected the cables, but I don't do that stuff. I'm a healer and I work in IT. I don't touch battery cables. And then I went, maybe I should. It'd be more action than I've gotten in a long time. And then he laughed at that. But I said it a little more, flirty.
And of course, it's in the moment. But
yes.
But actually, this log will not only help to access the right joke at the right time, but it will also create a pathway for you to create new jokes based on. So it's not necessarily about remembering this particular joke. But like when you put effort and awareness to like, okay, that was funny, that was the situation, your subconscious will start creating more jokes and will help you out. So yeah, absolutely. So that felt right in the moment. Great idea to keep a log. Great idea to practice. Great idea to, but also knowing that improvisation, right? Going with the flow is important part of being funny and use your sense of humor. So, which takes guts, courage, practice, and intuition and creativity. So we're encouraging you guys to be authentic who you are, not to forget where you came from, your cultural background, with the respect to all of that. Be authentic and smile and laugh, especially during difficult times that we are all experiencing right now, the whole world. We need more laughter. We need more, and laughter is healing. Smiles, laughter, jokes are healing. It brings you as much healing power as meditation. So as it brings us closer to one another, it brings us to be more connected, to be more relatable, to be more down to earth. It takes away arrogance. It takes away like I'm better than you quickly. So we're inviting all of you to use your beautiful sense of humor and maybe take Kimberly's suggestion and keep a log, or allow yourself to create those jokes, to be in the moment and laugh. So we're inviting you to come to our events this April. Next Tuesday, we will have a class devoted to my birthday because it's Tuesday and it's my birthday. And I'm like, okay, we will do this meetup and we will do things that I love, absolutely passionate about. We will do group coaching. We will work on our intuitive abilities. We will do some interesting exercises. So come celebrate with me. And yes, and also if you're interested in learning more about us, schedule the free client transformation audit or discovery call if you want to learn more about the program. So thank you so much. Thank you for bringing your beautiful energies into this container today, and let's laugh. Let's keep it light, even when there is a lot of darkness around us, because this will help us to be close. It will help us to be together and share love, share light, and healing. So, Charna, what's your word?
Laughter.
That's a good one.
My word for the day.
Thank you. Aksana.
Humor.
Humor me. Thank you. Justina.
One word, some.
Give us one word.
Quack.
What?
Quack.
Quack? Okay. Thank you.
Says the duck.
Okay. Thank you. Kimberly, what's your word?
It's 2 words because I had a spontaneous hot flash.
Spontaneous. My favorite, spontaneous combustion. I can't say that, but it's kind of mesmerizes me. This spontaneous. Yeah, my word is authenticity. If we're authentic, we can share a laugh, we can come from a place of no judgment and support and love one another. So thank you so much for staying with us.
Mary in Facebook online, her word is, 1 second, happy, I think. Yes, Mary put her word is happy.
That's a good one. Thank you so much, Mary, for your word. And let's stay positive as much as we can, realistically, authentic, happy, and laugh. Love you guys and see you later, alligators.
Bye-bye.